So as the title asks, will the Season of the Drifter have to be any good, and does it need to be? Well, that probably is a dumb question, but if history is to play its part with this DLC, then the answer to the first part of that question will be no. As it usually plays out, we get two very average releases of DLC with one good big release, and so far this is still true. Forsaken was seen as a huge step in the right direction, with many praising the release, only to be disappointed with the Black Armory. It's a case of one step forward, two steps back. Black Armory's flaws were clear from the outset, with players complaining about the level requirements to complete the game's forges. Bungie said they were going to fix this, but we hadn't seen any sign of this happening until now. Season of the Drifter will bring in a bounty system which allows players to advance their characters up to the 640 light level, but it's the additions to the game that this DLC will hopefully provide enough content for players to enjoy for a longer period, with the content being drip-fed over time. A new mode, which is a next-tier Gambit mode called Gambit Prime, where instead of a 3-round mode, you have 1 round and the game evolves as you play. The Reckoning then takes you a step further with a risk and reward system, meaning you take your winnings and risk them for high rewards against tougher enemies. On top of this, you have 4 new combat roles: Reaper, Sentry, Collector, and Invader, all of which have their own gear rewards, allowing you to build your character in any way you like. Now, this is all well and good, but is this just more glorified content? Where are the story updates? With this being more about lore for the Drifter and the Nine, how much of this is going to be placed behind story content? If we look at previous DLCs, Black Armor excluded, we have had at least a small story update to play before heading back into that endgame grind, which is what most of these DLCs are designed for. Bungie are in a different position now, with Activision no longer backing them, and we know content will probably see some changes later on, but Season of the Drifter should still be seen as part of the Activision production, as they would have been working on this content prior to the split. Destiny 2's biggest problem is keeping people in their game. Numbers do tend to improve when new content is released, but a drop-off is usually seen not long after. So how is Season of the Drifter trying to keep people engrossed with this new DLC? Is this DLC going to be good enough to keep you playing? Now, after watching the Vidoc, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I wasn't a little bit intrigued and excited for this new content, but we've all been burned before by Bungie and the level of inconsistency in the quality of their DLCs. So much so that there is a level of caution I take before praising how it looks based on a trailer. The same can be said for The Division 2. The Year 1 DLC trailer looks good, but we won't know until we play it. So will Season of the Drifter be enough to compete with The Division 2 when that releases in a few weeks? Probably not. They are two very different things. One is a new game, and the other is a small piece of content trying to draw people back into a game that has already built its framework. Only time will tell, and from the 5th of March we will start to get our first taste of what Bungie have been working on. So for now I'm going to leave it there, and we'll do a bit more of a detailed look next week once Season of the Drifter has been out and I've played it. Remember to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification and the like button. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch for streaming updates. Those links are in the description below, along with the link to the Vidoc if you haven't watched it already, and I do suggest that you do watch it. So until then, take care, and I'll see you next time.